Hi, hey everybody. So it's another day of dev video work. Yesterday and the day before, we worked on getting ahead and updating a few mods to the newer versions. So we got wooden shears going all the way to 112. Recipes are finicky. I'm still working on getting them finished for 112 with the new recipe system. It's not straightforward anymore. You can do JSON recipes, which are kind of nice. They actually do work really well. They're not too different than what I already do with my stuff. With that, though, there are a few things with the recipes are not fully functional. MBT is not straightforward. I haven't figured that out yet. With that as well is I think the OR dictionary recipe is going to override all the subtype recipes. So there's a high possibility I may have to make a custom recipe, and I have yet to figure that out. But I've heard Forge is going to be releasing a new version here over the next few days that should fix for a lot of those problems. So that's already updated. We actually have that in here. Got that done. I'm going to go ahead and release it with the current recipe state. As it is playable, you just can't get the subvariant types, and the subvariant types were mainly there for immersion anyways. And then what I did earlier this morning is I went ahead and got Bagable plants all the way up. Let's go ahead and prototype this on 112. We're probably not going to actually do 112 on it. I noted this on Twitter is that I may pause from updating to 112 for the moment, and this is just to give Forge time to release new versions, and that way I can see if that was indeed the problem I was running into or if I need to go do something else. Likelihood is it's probably I need to go do something else because, well, I have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to updating these. So that means I need to go find some information and go learn and go figure out what it is that I need to do to get these mods functioning for the newer versions. Anyways, to get this to go to 112, you literally just change that number to 112. And this will automatically use all of our scripts to load up the 112 version. Now, for those who think that's what you have to do for your own project, this only works with my project workspace's scripts. When you want to go do it realistically, you just need to set the Forge version, you need to set the snapshot version, and using the normal process, and it works out really, really well. Anyways, we'll go ahead and load this up, and cross our fingers that this loads. I had a lot of issues yesterday with getting the 112 scripts actually functional, and it took repeated tries. We literally had to go nuke half of the 112 downloaded files, reload the workspace repeatedly, and then modify the scripts and update things like Forge Gradle, and then we finally got it working. It took us like, I think, 2 hours. And that was just to load wooden shears up and figure out the only thing I really needed to work on was the recipes. And then I spent a couple hours toying with the recipes, and I got them functional. I think MC Jetty, or however you pronounce his name again, the guy who makes RF tools, I've been using his project workspace as a prototype example, and including his examples, because he actually has a learn modding by example workspace that's pretty useful as well. It didn't clear out a lot of problems. The number one issue I was actually having with a few other mods here didn't really help. For example, Bagable plants updating to 111, I didn't know the model names needed to be lowercased in order to load properly. So Bagable plants is one of the ones I have that has uppercase letters in the name, and it works in 1.8 and 1.9 and 10. Then you hit 11 and it doesn't work anymore, and there's no explanation. There's no warnings in the console or anything. The only thing you get in console going is like, hey, your model didn't load, and then you're sitting there going, huh? As you try to dig around and figure out what's causing it. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking through, and I just finally dawned on me that, hey, all these are lowercase, and mine's not lowercase. And then I went ahead and switched it and fixed it. That's something a tutorial wouldn't really have told me, but I'll thank him anyways for that one because, well, I was looking through his code when I was doing it, so I might as well give him credit. Anyway, so we'll get this loaded up in 112, and as soon as we do this one, we're probably going to go ahead and do the oil and ore mod and update it. That's a good one to do today because I've only got maybe about an hour to 2 hours to really stream today because I kind of got up late. It happens. I worked to about 10 in the morning on mods and other projects, and then honestly, I really need to be studying for my exam some more. I spent some time doing that, read over the entire chapter 1 out of 6 chapters I need to read for that exam. Yeah, it's going to be a long time. Hopefully it won't be too big of an issue. The exam's only worth a fifth of my grade. All I got to do is get like 100 out of 180 points on it. I'll be fine. I'll get like a B at the end of the semester, which is usually how I play it. But this class is a little finicky. It has a lot of specialized knowledge you need to really know because it's an IT security class. And they expect a lot out of you in the process. A little bit too much, in my opinion. It feels like some of this material should be broken off into subclasses that specialize in IT security, This is basically a IT Security 101 course is what it really is. It's just teaching you what IT security is and how it affects the industry and all the different processes, but they throw a lot of information at you really, really quickly. And to be honest, when I kind of look at it, I feel like if I paid attention to my other classes a little bit more, it wouldn't have been as bad. There's certain things like the software development lifecycle. It's something I've been taught repeatedly before, but I've completely ignored because, well, I don't use it. There's very rarely when you use the software development lifecycle. Let's use the waterfall approach as an example. When you start a cycle, you first start with inspection, where you go, okay, we have a problem. How do we plan to solve it? Then you move from that to analysis, so where you analyze the problem and how you're going to solve it. Then after that, you go to logical implementation, where you actually design the logic. Then physical implementation, where you design the entire thing from the ground up. And then finally, you hit implementation, where you actually build the thing and then actually produce it out. And then the final one after that's maintenance, where you're constantly just sitting there maintaining the product until at a time you decide you want to go back to step one, which is in making a brand new product all over again. I never use that. And this is technically roughly the same process you do with Agile and everything else. The only difference between Agile and like Spiral methodologies is that it's a repeat process. With Spiral, you're repeatedly going through all the steps until you hit the end. And then with Agile, you're repeating it except you're changing your design. There's one difference between them. Anyways, go ahead and get this configured. Yeah, the closest thing I actually end up using is what's called extreme programming. I did not pick it for that name. I figured out what it was after I started using it. So extreme programming is an agile development process where you focus on getting as many versions out as possible. And then once again, I picked this before I knew what it really was. So the way to describe it, and literally most mod developers do it this way. You develop stuff and then you shoot a download out, you shoot a download out, you shoot a download out. You don't spend a lot of time testing, you don't spend a lot of time debugging, you don't do a lot of documentation, and it matches perfectly. Let's see what let's open up Bagable plans. Let's see. The number one thing that's going to error out is this recipe down here at the bottom. I think it's the only thing that's going to error out. Maybe some imports. Yeah. And then we're going to have add information fail on us, I think, too. Yeah. I noticed a lot of the methods have changed around. I'm not too thrilled about how the on item use method changed. Oh wow, this one changed actually quite a bit. I like it a little bit actually. One, we actually have the proper string here. On top of this, we actually have this tooltip flag, which I don't know what is, so can't really do much with that. We need to pop over this guy and okay, let's put this above here and see what we're missing. Okay, we need the block stack, and we need the extra BT, and then we need the player. I'm going to skip out on the world because we have the player. So then there's our new method for this. And then I'm going to change this to list. Get rid of that. I'll document some more later. And then what we want to pass in is, where's the player at? Did we actually lose the player in the process of this tooltip? Shit, we did. Did we get it in this guy? No. Why wouldn't we have the player? Hold on. I feel like there's a version of this that is player specific. What the derp, actually? Well, we've always had the player as part of our add information system, and there's actually code that will fail in my mods without that player. That's going to be really sad because ICBM Classic, we have like little trolley things that we troll the Augscast developers with, and those won't load. That's kind of sad, actually. I really like that. I guess I'll have to get rid of it. I don't think the block stack extra is actually even used. So we want to change this to list. And then this is flag in, which is the last one. And then we want to throw world back in there, I guess, until somebody figures out what's wrong. Might have to pull request this a change in this. Actually, the wrong button. We got that in the right. Oh yeah, the world will be in the front here. There we go. So that fixes that error. I'm disappointed that there's not a player in here anymore. And that could be something that's out of control of the Forge's hand. That could be something that Mojang decided to do. No, it could change it. Yeah, right there's a player. It said they ought to use the player world. So what I might end up doing here later is pull requesting a change to that if it hasn't been done already, to create a version that gives us access to the player again, because clearly we have that. Okay, we need to do the recipe now. Now this is going to be real easy. I'm just going to pop over to wooden shears. And we're going to source, main, resources, assets, wooden shears, and then we want recipes. And we're just going to copy that recipe, and that goes basically into this path, except there'll be something called recipes. Now for those who are familiar with my JSON system, you don't have to do this. Oh shit, that, shoot. That actually removed that out of that folder. There we go. It's back in there. So we gotta have to rename this after the bag here. So we just want to go ahead and hit refactor rename on the model, and then borrow its name real quick. Grab your name. Okay, close. Refactor rename. And then we want to put this here, and then let's go back up to here, and then grab this part. So this will give us the correct item now. Now we just got to fix everything else about it. So this is a tool technically. The only problem is I don't think groups actually work anyways, so I don't know. I'm kind of just wasting my time on that. I haven't figured them out. That's the reason why I don't really feel comfortable releasing a lot of 112 mods right now, is that there are things that we're just flat out missing. Anyway, so our recipe is this part, I think. It feels a little short for some reason. I don't know why we're getting params in front of that. Glitching out on me, I guess. Okay, so here's our recipe. It's this part right here. So we can just literally copy this and pop over here and just go boom, right there it is. I really like this feature of it. It's a little nicer than my version. It's the reason I need to kind of work on my version a little bit more. So that gives us all of our stuff, and then we just got to come down here and change all the keys. We're going to try to OR dictionary as many of these as we possibly can. So let's go OR dictionary dot. Yeah, we don't even need to go a dot for this. We just want to pop over here and go Control F string. So it's literally just called string. So string is S in our recipe. So we have an S down here. We need to capitalize it though, because this one's a little different. And then just put string down there. Of course, get rid of our extra quotation marks. Okay, so that gets us one item. Okay, bowl's probably not OR dictionary, but leather might be OR dictionary. Yep, leather is OR dictionary. So we want to go back to our recipe. Just go ahead and change this one to an L. Go ahead and throw that in there. Of course, get rid of our extra quotation marks. And last thing we need to do is do the B, which is bowl. And that's going to be a vanilla recipe, I believe. And I'm trying to remember how to do that. Actually, really quickly, let's see if there's actually a bowl in here. Nope. So we'll close that. And what we want is bowl, which means we're going to have to define bowl. So it's literally just called bowl. I like that when you get something that's that simple. The one problem, though, which I'm just going to delete this, is that I forget how to do the keys here, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this, because I think this is what it looks like. And we're going to go borrow some code. Well, not borrow code. We're going to go look at somebody's code. So we're going to pop over to github.com. Yeah, if you ever guys have, you don't know what you're doing, GitHub is the best approach. And I've been looking at Mick Jetty's because he's already got a mod updated. He already did all the hard work here. And from my understanding, he's pretty cool about people coming over here and looking at his code to understand what they're doing. But we're going to intentionally go look at his mod tutorials, because I know those are allowed to be looked at. Oh, he doesn't have a 112 set yet. Okay, so we're not going to go do that. Go RF Tools. Go to the 112 branch. Source. Main. Resources. You know, actually, we don't even need to look at this. I just realized this. I'm being dumb about this. We can go look at Minecraft's code. This is even better to do than look at somebody else's code. So go here, go up to here, and I have the Minecraft assets in my directory. And recipes. And this is the part I was looking for. So it's item is what it's going to be called. And then you can specify data too, but we only want the item part. And we actually want to put this here. Get rid of the type. And let me take a look at that again. Yeah, Minecraft and planks. Yeah, that looks perfectly fine. Pattern looks good. This one does have a group. This is what I've actually been looking for. I've been trying to figure out how the groups work. So the groups seem to be the name of the tile. Is what it seems to be. So you know what? I probably want to go ahead and change this group to be Bagable Plant, and maybe it'll finally show up properly. I haven't had a lot of luck with the recipes in 112 yet. I'm pretty sure this is just something that Forge is going to have to work on and slowly get functional. Or oh, we do have more problems. Okay. Yeah, it's just a copy and paste problem. Yeah, we no longer have the player. Here, that. We just want to do is grab this guy, pop over here, put it here, and then just substitute what we're missing. And then we need wool at the front. Yeah, getting my other mods updated to newer versions is going to be a pain, because if every version this stuff changes, then that means I'm going to have to get rid of certain features and functionality in the API that just aren't usable. Which is going to suck. The thing said, you really don't do much with the player. I do know there are mods that do use the player for ad information. Reika's mods, for example. They'll actually check to see who you are, so that way the tooltip changes. And he uses it for his research gating, or whatever it is. I think Tinkers does something similar. Thumbcraft. I think Equivalent Exchange does some as well. It's been a while since I've been around all the mods, though, so I don't know what everybody does anymore. I need to get back into it. I kind of took like a hiatus from really participating in the modding community for like the last 2 years. And I need to get back into participating in it again. Actually talking to everybody, interacting again. Missing data. Okay. That recipe probably just flat out didn't load. Let's see if everything else works. By the way, see how that says beta? Yeah, Forge is not even officially released yet for 112. It's cool though, is we're getting the ability to update. This is kind of how I would prefer Forge to kind of do things, is that getting a beta version out as quickly as possible, just so we can update the code, even if it doesn't function properly. It's what Mojang should probably just start sneaking us versions of the code way before release and stuff. Also, did I mention I really like how we've got like an actual semi-guide in the corner now to tell you how to do things, even if it's kind of useless. I need a crafting table. There we go. Okay, so by default, when you do a crafting grid table, you have to kind of find all the resources. So you toss it in there, that gives you access to wood. With wood, you can craft it. That gives you access to more recipes, and you just kind of have to work your way around. Prereqs for days. I think we just do this. Yep, there we go. Oh, there we go. Finally unlocked enough recipes. I wonder if there's a command to unlock all the recipes. Do that. I think a bowl is, what, this shape? Okay, that unlocked a bowl. Yeah, I don't see my recipe in here, but what is the recipe anyways? We just made it. So, bowl surrounded by leather with a string on the top. I'm not really familiar with the new layout of the GUI either. They moved a lot of the stuff around that way they could get a save tab system, which save toolbar with control 1 or C1. I don't understand how that works. Oh, we got boats though. That reminds me, they actually added boats with animation. I really need to like spend some time just playing the new version one of these days. Oh, dragon heads, armor stands, end crystals. Oh, we got pages now. That's cool. Okay, so the recipe is this, surrounded by this stuff. If my mouse will work. There it goes. Yeah, so the recipe isn't craftable, which tells me the recipe didn't load. So we'll go ahead and hit save and quit. Jump out of this. Also, I forgot to pause my stream video recording over here. And now I'm talking about the actual stream. I'm talking about the mixer window here. It was over here playing, wasting bandwidth. Okay, so I want to say we're going to have to capitalize this guy up. So if we go over to Bagable Planets, we want to grab this thing. Could register the item twice. Would be a stupid idea, but could. I probably should just go ahead and fix it, because I feel like it's going to become mandatory here eventually. So go ahead and run that. Yeah, everything else looks good. Even though I said I wasn't going to update this, I guess I went ahead and updated it. Go ahead and throw open Git Kraken real quick and set up the new branch for this. And then we'll flop over to oil ore here shortly. So I'll probably split this recording off, and then that way we have a recording per whatever we're doing. Okay, so we want to go view more repositories, 112. By the way, I think it was like Mick Jetty was talking about he has like 30-something repositories. I think I win. I think I definitely win. Look at that. That's that. That doesn't even include the SMB stuff, Volts Engine add-ons, and my class projects aren't even loaded up through GitKraken. They're all uploaded up through, I think, Source3 still. Armory add-ons. Okay, so we want 112. Not that it's a competition, by the way, so don't get that idea that I'm competing with them on the number of repositories. I've just always been the guy who's had more repositories than any other person in the industry. So I can literally say that too, because I still have not found somebody who's got more. And we're not talking about like the number of downloaded. We're talking about the ones owned, like the repositories you actually own are yours. So yeah, okay, that code all looks good. What we want to do is go ahead and make a new branch. So 1.12. And go ahead and let's test to make sure our recipe works first. And I can just scroll over here, and no, it's still not loading. It says it's missing data. Does it actually want something? Missing exception. Get stack from craft handler. It wants something called data. Huh. I feel like I'm using a different version of Forge than my other workspace. Or did I miss something? New parse exception. Oh, if has subtypes, it wants data. Okay, I know how to fix this. I accidentally marked item bag with subtypes when I was updating 1.11 to see if that would fix things. Let's go ahead and close this, and we're going to hit run and debug. So it looks like we didn't have to lowercase or uppercase anything. I just needed to read the crash report properly. We are missing something in the JSON format. I think the exceptions probably need a little bit better work. I don't know, I might actually participate in pull request for once. I've been telling Lex I would do it, and then because I've been sitting back in 1.7.10, I haven't done it. Because after all, it's hard to contribute when you're on the wrong version. I was told I'm not allowed to contribute towards the 1.7.10 version because I'm told to leave that dead and dying. Kind of a pity because I really do like the 1.7.10 version. Although some of these new features they've got in the newer versions are actually pretty enjoyable. The crafting guide, that's going to be amazing. If mods can really work with that and get that running, I foresee we can do really cool things with it. I have a theory you can use it for duplicate recipes maybe. I don't know if that exactly works. I'm hoping it does because Wooden Shears is going to have some problems with duplicate recipes that I got to fix. That's where a custom recipe template may be useful. I may have to do some shenanigans to make it work. Okay, so let's check the console. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, the only thing we got is that couldn't log in exception. I'm not seeing my bag on here, but you know, I probably should drop the cost of this a little bit. It's not too bad though. Here we go. It's working. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Actually, get my mouse off that and then take a screenshot. There we go. That way I can go throw that up on the thing and it works. It says new recipe unlocked, check your recipe book. It doesn't show up in here. Now I think this is something a lot of mod developers are having problems with, so it's something that it will just be fixed over time. The search bar, oh, the search bar does work up here. Yeah, see, it doesn't show up in here. Okay. It's cool that there's a recipe book there. I kind of wish the GUI wouldn't slam to the right though, it's a little disorientating. If it, maybe a transition, like a really cool mod that is for somebody to make, maybe Vasky could do with this Quirks mod, is for when you click this, instead of it slamming to the sideway, it just slowly transitions and opens up like a book or something. That way it's not as disorientating on the opening. And this is probably just a personal opinion of mine, but yeah. But yeah, that's updated. We're good. I'm going to go ahead and cut this recording and start the next one in a few seconds.